Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Motorcycle Rescue and Review. Today, I'm going to be replacing the clutch on my 1981 Kawasaki CSR 1000. I'm going to be using the stock Kawasaki friction and drive plates when I do this job, and I'm going to be using EBC clutch springs that are rated about 15% higher tension than the stock springs. This bike pulls really hard and it sounds really good, so I have a feeling I might be in the upper reaches of the tack range on occasion, and I just want to have a little bit of extra assurance that the clutch is not going to slip. I have been soaking my clutch plates in motorcycle specific oil, and that's the clutch fibers. I've been soaking them for about a week. That way they are wet and they've soaked up some of the engine oil prior to putting them in the bike. What that does is it helps when I put the bike in gear, it's not going to do a dry start, and it helps the friction plates and the drive plates not to stick to one another, and it just makes the shifting action a lot smoother. I've had much better success pre-soaking the fibers for about a week in clean motorcycle oil, and I've done them dry, and when I've done them dry I've had some stiction issues in the past with replacing clutches, so soaking them is now my new process. All right, let's get into it. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do here is remove my brake pedal lever, and it's just a 12mm socket here. We're going to pull this and pull that off. I think that'll give me enough room to pull the clutch cover off. If I have to remove this bracket and my foot peg, I will do so. I'm hoping I don't have to do that, but if I do, no big deal, we'll do that. The last step in the process here in replacing the clutch is to remove this cover and make sure that our clutch release adjustment is set according to the factory specs. So what I'll do is pull this off and it'll expose the adjuster, and we'll go ahead and set it like it should be. What I've done to prepare for this is I've loosened my new clutch cable up all the way so it's as short as possible. It's got a mid cable adjustment. I've got that shortened all the way. I also have slack in the clutch cable at the top where it goes into the lever. Okay, so once that's loosened, what we're going to do is take this, I'm going to turn this in until we start getting the resistance, which is right about here. So what I'm going to do now is turn it 1/4 turn back, and we will set the lock nut. And we will go ahead and make the final adjustments on our cable. So this is at the top of the clutch cable, and we have about 1/4 of an inch between here and here, about 1/4 of an inch. And so what we'll do now is we will turn our mid cable adjuster back out until it takes up the free play here. And we've only got a little bit. So I've set it now. I've got just a little bit of play at the end of my clutch travel here. You don't want this super tight up against. You want just a little play right at the end there. That way you know the clutch is engaged fully. And if I need to make any more fine adjustments, I can make them up here. All right, the bike is buttoned up. I just got back from a test drive and everything performed exactly like it should. I don't have any more clutch slippage at high RPM. The bike pulls hard, and even though I went with a little bit heavier springs, the clutch pull is very, very manageable. I did replace my clutch cable as well, and so that contributes to a lighter pull. The clutch installation was very straightforward. I actually ended up reusing the clutch cover gasket that was on there for two reasons. One, there was no residue left on the clutch cover itself when I pulled that off, and it was very well stuck onto the engine on the other side. So when I put things back together, I did use a little bit of PERMATEX gasket sealant and just around the lip of the clutch cover, and I don't see any leaks. I'll monitor that for a little while coming up just to make sure I'm not leaking anything, but no drips, no leaks at this point. I hope this video was helpful if you're considering doing a similar job. This is the most straightforward, easiest, quickest clutch installation that I've done, and everything seemed to cooperate very well for me, so I'm very happy about that, and looking forward to getting out and riding. In a future episode, I will be replacing the valve cover gasket. I will also be retorquing the head and checking my valves. But we're nearing the finish line on this project. I've got a couple more things that I may do. I may replace these rear shocks with some MGO units, and yeah, just got a couple little things to tidy up here and there, but the bike is running good, shifting good, sounding good. Hope you enjoy this video. Have a great day.